Snake, a game that rigorously tests one's hand and eye coordination, reflexes, and quick thinking. It is not an easy task for a human being, and the world record for the game is 252 points. But I, Tim, a gamer myself, shall challenge this game and bring the victory home. And now let's get into it. I'm feeling the blood pumping in my vein, and I'm feeling the energy. And I'm surely will win. Come on. That was a mistake, okay? Round 2, alright? It's time for round 2. That was just a warm-up. Yeah, it was a warm-up. I'm actually good at this game, trust me. Alright, second round, I'm feeling it. This is the time I break the world record. Oh yeah, this is the time I break the world record. Huh? Yeah, you see, it's easy, huh? It ain't gonna trick me. It's easy. I'm gonna get the dub. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Get eaten, you trash. You red little food. Yeah, you deserve to be eaten. Yeah, that's right. Come on. Yeah, that's right. I ain't gonna crush into the wall. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now. You see, I'm actually gonna win this. Yeah, the first, I told you, man. The first try was just a joke. Now let's get into the code. Before I start talking about the code and coding in front of you, please like and subscribe to this channel. And now let's get in. So let's start off by creating our main. So we can just class, just name it main, and we do want a public static void. So what I'm gonna do right now is that I'm gonna create all the classes that we will be needing to use. So we would need the game class that manages the game, and we also need a graphics class so we can draw the graphics, and we also need snake class, food class, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's create a game class, and let's add another one, graphics, and what else? We can add a snake, so that it's our snake object. That's the player, and we're gonna add one more class for food. That would be the red dot. Okay, so let's start by coding the game. So let's first just write a constructor, and so we're gonna have our we want to have a snake object, so that will be the player, and we also want a food, so that will be our food, and we also need to set up a window. Yeah, so we need a JFrame, and we're gonna call it window. So for JFrame, you had to import JFrame, so that will be from Swing. So we are using Swing graphics. So now we have to initialize our window. What we can do is that window that equals to a new JFrame, and we want to set up the frame as well. So we're gonna set a title, and we're gonna call it snake, and we want to set size. So for the size, for good programming purposes, we would want to create a variable for the width and the height, as well as the dimension of the game, because we want these values to be the same, to be used they will be used the same throughout the entire program. So we don't need to So when we need to change the size, we don't have to change it everywhere. We just change it at one place. And here I'll show you what we mean. So we're gonna create a public static integer value variable called width, and we're gonna set it equals to 20, and then we're gonna say public static integer. And we also want to make this final. So this will be a constant value. It will not change. And then we're gonna make it. What should we make it? Height be 20. And since snake is a grid game, so it's a grid-like game. So we have to set a dimension. So public static final integer, and then we're gonna call it dimension. And we want the dimension to be maybe around, let me see what's the best value for it. 20. Okay. In that case, we would want this to be 30. So we want the total length and width of our window to be 600. So it will be 600 is a good size. So when we set size right here, what we do width and we times dimension. So that will be 600, and then height times dimension. And we will be needing to use the width and dimension throughout our program. So it would be best that we make them public static final, so that we can just call them. So when we need to change the size of the game, we can just change it here. We don't need to change it throughout our program, so it saves a lot of time. And we need to also set our window to be give me a second. Set our window to be visible. We need to set it visible first, and that will be true, so we can see it. And we also need to set our window. So we also need to set default close operation JFrame dot close exit on close. Yes. So what this does is that it makes our so when we create a window, it's gonna have a exit button on the side of the window. So what we're doing right now is that we make the window to be closable by clicking the X, the red X. So now what we need to do is that we need to also create a object for our graphics. Almost forgot. And now what we have to do, let's start off by coding the snake first. So for the snake, what we do is that we need to give it a snake. So coding the snake, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna have an array list of rectangles. So the snake will be like a bunch of rectangles that's like in line. That'll be a snake, and each rectangle will be like a grid. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a private array list of rectangles, and then we're gonna call it body, and that'll be the snake's body equals new. We can just declare it in the, we can just initialize it in the constructor, and body dot equals new array list. Then, okay, so what we need to do, we need to import array list. We also need to import rectangle from java.awt. And so what we need to do also is that we want to give snake the body, so we need to initialize the body first. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna say create a rectangle. So we're gonna first add 3 rectangles into the snake. So we're gonna create a new rectangle, and the constructor for rectangle takes 2 integer, and that will be the dimension of the rectangle. So we want to do game.dimension. You see, now we can just call game.dimension instead of say 30, because was it 30? No, it was 20. So so when we change the dimension of the game, we could just change it in the game file, so we don't have to change it everywhere else. So that saves a lot of time. So what we're gonna do else is that the length and the width will be the same because it's a square, and we need to name this temp, so it will be temporary. And we also need to set the location of the of this rectangle, and let's just start off by making the snake in the middle. How about that? So what we're gonna do, actually, we're gonna do game.width divided by 2 multiplies by game.dimension, and game.height divided by 2 multiplied by dimension. I mean game.dimension. What we could do, we can what we could do is we could just honestly make my life easier just by making these variables smaller. So what we're gonna do, so we don't have to say game.dimension, game.width all the time. So we're just gonna do this, and height equals to game.height. Oh. And so I'm just gonna leave it here because I'm lazy. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do body.add temp. So we're gonna add this rectangle into the body, and now we're gonna create. So we had to create 3. Now 2 more. So we're gonna do. We're just gonna temp dot equals to new rectangle, and this time we just do dd. Be easier. And then temp dot set location, and that will be w divided by 2, but this time we're going to subtract 1, so it will be to the left of the first square, so -1. Actually, what we're going to do is this, and then multiplies by d, and then the height will be h divided by 2 -1, and then multiplies by d. Oh, my bad. Now we're just gonna add this as well, and we're gonna add 1 more. So we're just gonna copy this, and instead of -1, which is -2, so it'll be to the left. Okay. So now we have our snake initialized. What we want to do for the snake is that before we add more function to the snake, we're gonna first create a getter and setter for our body. So what we can do is that we can there's an easier way to do it. If you have a lot of variables and you want to create getters and setter for all of them, in Eclipse you can just go to source, generate getters and setter, and check the one that you want, generate. Oh yeah, because if you generate like this, it would be too early. So what you can do is that you can, when you say generate getter and setter, you want to say after whatever function that you want. So in this case I'll be after the constructor. It'll be on the bottom. Now let's get back to the game. So what we want to do for our game is that we want our the player to be able to control Snake with their key. And I'll continue to code this in the next episode because I don't want to run the video too long since Snake is a big project. So that it took me 2 hours to 3 hours to code it. So but it would be fast if I'm talking over a video because I already coded it. So I'll see you in the next episode. So like the video, subscribe. Have a good day. Bye bye.